Hey everyone, welcome back to Legal Talk and Libations. You have Tony here, you know, I told y'all I was coming back. And we have the wonderful, I had to bring somebody special for episode 2 because before I say who it is, let me just say this. Y'all know I'm just graduated law school. Y'all know I'm just starting out this journey. And for some reason, God keeps placing great people in my life to just, help me with my own path. So I felt like in order for me to continue on this journey with keeping it real with y'all, I wanted to bring somebody on that has kept it real with me. This wonderful lady right here has helped me since the day she met me. She hired me on the spot, really. But we're going to get into that. But I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But I want to introduce Attorney Venese Morgan from Cali.
Hello, everyone.
Say hey to the people.
How you doing, mi gente?
Hey, so, like we know, it's Legal Talks and Libations. She's an attorney. I told y'all we're going to get to talking about the real, and we're going to drink a little bit,
Of course, I got a drink in my hand. You're not an attorney unless you have a drink in your hand.
That's what they say. We need a little bit of something to get us through these days.
All those law students, you're going to find out.
Real soon. So, I don't know. I just had to bring her on because I just feel like it's important for us to talk about, certain topics, and what better person to hear from than an actual attorney, licensed attorney who deals with cases every single day. So, I want to give a chance to, ask you some questions. Maybe you can tell us about your journey and things like that to where, we could just, dive deep into how we got here today.
Absolutely.
So let's start off with, tell us a little bit about you. Where you from? How'd you end up in Louisiana?
Okay, so I'm originally from San Jose, California.
Whoop, whoop.
For those of y'all that don't know California, that's about 45 miles south of San Francisco.
Okay. Geographics, let's go.
Silicon Valley, So big city. And I grew up downtown in a big city.
Okay.
And I came to Louisiana seeking a very cheap education.
Okay.
At Southern University. And I accomplished that.
Shout out to Southern.
But, Southern has been able to pave the way, for me when other colleges, I really cannot see how they could, or would. I don't see how, other colleges, particularly PWIs, would have been able to put me in the right community, around the right set of people who were like-minded, that could boost me up the way I seek to boost others up.
Okay.
That are worthy of being boosted up. Well, I'll even tell you like this: Southern University was the same price as Foothill College, a junior college in the Bay Area. Okay.
I'm familiar with Foothill. I actually know that school.
So that was $6,000 a semester, and so was Southern. So it was kind of a no-brainer for me. It was either I could get a junior college degree, an AA degree, which I can't do nothing with, for the same amount of money. I can go to bumfuck Louisiana and get a 4-year degree. I'm like, all right, I'll take my chances in bumfuck.
And a lot of people, they don't even realize it. We from Cali, so we know the expenses. We know how much money goes into the education out there.
Right.
It's a no-brainer for us,
right,
to come. And I didn't hear about an HBCU when I was growing up. Did you hear about HBCUs growing up?
The only reason why I did was because my father graduated from Southern. He was an alumni of Southern, and he's from Alexandria, Louisiana. So I grew up watching Bayou Classic yeah.
I ain't have none of that. HBCU life was so new to me when I started at the junior college, so it was so new. But yes, keep telling us about your journey. So you started going to Southern.
So I started going to Southern.
Okay.
I pledged Sigma Gamma Rho.
Okay.
Incorporated.
Okay.
My junior year, and I was the student government judiciary. I was the SGA Chief Justice. My senior year.
So you started out getting titles.
Well, I was always heavy into politics too. Like my upbringing actually began in politics. Like I worked for Mayor Sharon Western Broom, and she's the mayor of Baton Rouge right now, when she was a state senator.
Gotcha.
Okay. I've also worked with Councilwoman Shauna Banks Daniel. She's a councilwoman in North Baton Rouge.
Okay.
I believe her district encompasses the avenues near Southern University, but not the campus itself, because that's actually District 10.
Okay.
Which, was gerrymandered all the way down toward the LSU area.
Right. Okay.
Right. That's
Put
where
us
we
on.
are. That's where we are, folks. Okay. And, so I did a lot at the Capitol. I've seen a lot. I've heard a lot. Some of it was good for me. Some of it I probably should not have seen and heard, particularly during legislative session when all these deals are being made. So, and I wound up there because my pre-law professor in college was Judge John Michael Guidry of the First Circuit Court of Appeal. Okay. And I got an A in his class. That was the only A I got that semester. Okay. But in my mind, I was like, I'm going to capitalize on this A.
As you should.
Right? And I'm like, we're in the capital city of this great state of Louisiana, right? So I should be in that capital. Like, why am I not there? I need to be doing something in that capital, right?
Okay.
So I went up to him and I said, hey, how do I get up in that capital? Like, just like that, really.
Sometimes it's the best way is to keep it real. Say what's on your mind.
Right.
It'll get you there.
Right. And he knew where I was coming from because I was like the only A in his class, right? So,
okay.
And so he was just like, okay, well, I have two friends. I've got Avon Honey, Representative Avon Honey, and I've got Senator Sharon Weston Broome. Here's Avon's number. Here's Sharon's number. You take it. Tell them you know me, and I will vouch for you.
Just like that.
Right? And honestly, to this day, I love this man. To this day, I love this man. Like, he is one of the real ones. Yes, absolutely. I think he might even be a pastor, too.
Come on.
But I say all that to say that, Judge John Michael Guidry really looked out for me. And if you're watching this, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, for real, because she went on to do great things.
This is like the first step of Venese Morgan becoming Venese Morgan.
Okay. We like that. Come on, tell us what was next.
So what was next? I called Representative Honey, and I was scheduled to have an interview with him, but then he passed away. And so then I called Senator Sharon Weston Broome, and she is another real one. I mean, she has helped me in probably more ways than she even knows. And I could be forever grateful and thankful.
We love to hear that. Shout out to you, Mayor. Shout out.
And she gave me a chance. She's like, why should I give you a chance? I was like, I don't know, but if you give me a chance, you won't be disappointed.
Right. That's all we be needing sometimes, is somebody to just take that time out and just see the potential that we have and exploit that for us. Because sometimes we don't know ourselves, what we're capable of, until we have somebody that meets us and shows us. So I think that's nice. That's real nice to hear.
Exactly. So long story short, I became a student aide in her office, and then that kind of catapulted me to Washington, D.C.
Washington?
When I graduated college,
you was in Washington?
I worked for the Democratic National Committee, and I also interned in the White House. None of this was paid, by the way. It sounds nice.
But big dog status.
No, it sounds nice, but wasn't nobody paying a girl, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't nobody paying a sister, like, for real. Like, all that shit was free. So I also had this little side job working for this for-profit campaign agency called Grassroots Campaigns. It sounds fancy, huh? You know what they really did? They stood out on we were glorified canvassers. We were glorified sitting out there.
Passing out the posters?
No, not passing out the posters. Asking people for their credit card number for Planned Parenthood and Greenpeace and all of that. Hey, do you support Planned Parenthood? Yeah, that type of shit.
Okay.
Right?
okay, I see.
They're like, yeah, I support you. You go through this little whole spiel, and now we just need $30 a month, and so put your credit card number right here.
Okay.
Right? But I was actually pretty good at it.
I could tell.
Like,
you're real good with your words, of course. So I know.
I was actually pretty good. Like, I got quite a bit of susties, as they sustainers, like third monthly sustainers. Like just the mere fact that people were willing to write their credit card number on a piece of paper and then walk away
and let you do
and let me have it.
That's dope. That's major.
That's a fucking salesman for you right there.
That's major.
I'm like, you know how fucking hard that was? But anyway, so that's what I did for money. But, was, chilling out in the White House, as an aide, and with the Democratic National Committee, which was a bunch of paper pushing, interning, type of stuff, But, man, I had a good time. And so as I was working in Senator Broome, now Mayor Broome's office, I met other, black legislators, that helped me along the way. Senator Karen Carter Peterson, who wrote my letter of recommendation to get into law school.
What made you want to go to law school?
I always knew I wanted to be a lawyer.
So even back then, all these things that you were doing, you knew that law school was the end goal for you?
Yeah, I was doing all of that to gear up for law school so I could have something on my resume to make me diverse. Okay,
so you didn't go straight from undergrad to law school. You took was it a gap year or so?
Yeah, I did a gap year in Washington, D.C., where I work for the DNC.
I'm surprised you didn't get stuck out there. A lot of people get stuck in D.C.
I was so broke. It was
you had bad. to come back.
It was bad. I was paying $400. I was struggling to pay $400 a month to borrow my soror's living room. Damn. And I slept on a big beanbag, the
things we go through to get to the top.
You have no idea.
Damn.
You have no idea. Like, there's an old saying. You do the things that most people aren't willing to do the things that most people aren't able to do.
Ooh, say it again for the people in the back.
I'll say it like this. Tomorrow, I'm catching a plane at 11 o'clock a.m. to Miami to get my nails done.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, when you can say that, come talk to me. When you can say that, come talk to me. Okay, because I'm not able to say that yet. But one day, I'll be able to say that.
You're going to say that.
I will be able to say that. And that's everything for me. I love being able to have somebody like you because you're in the field that I'm entering. So it's like inspiration. Just inspiration. So look, you go to law school, or you want to go to law school.
So yeah, I want to go to law school. So I'm in DC. I'm like, you know what, life really sucks. I'm working 7 days a week. I'm barely making any money. I'm having a good time. I'm partying wherever I can fit it in outside of work. But everybody works. Everybody works like 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that's the norm. And I was just like, I'm going back to Louisiana where people are just chilling. It's time for me to go ahead and apply for law school. I think that's enough.
It was your time.
It was my time, So beginning of 2013, I came back to Louisiana. I applied for law school. Boom, wound up getting in. Found out about April of 2013 that I was getting in. And then boom, the semester started, right? So then that took up about 3.5 years. Okay, 3.5 because I held myself back a half a semester so I could prepare for the bar exam.
Period.
Right?
Period.
And, had to get my money together, and all of that, right? Because I knew I only had one shot. I only had one shot at that bitch. And I knew it.
And you passed it on the first?
Oh, yeah. I wasn't fucking around.
I knew that already. I just had to say that.
I was not fucking around.
I knew that already.
No, I didn't have no time to play. The situation was unstable. And I
had to get it.
Right. Like, it was either I get this license and get to hustling, or
that was the plan.
Right.
Look, that was the plan.
Right. There wasn't no other option.
No other option.
Really wasn't no other option. So I did that, and took me about a year to study for the bar. And I did that. And I became an attorney at May of 2017.
Whoop, whoop.
Okay. And then that's when the real journey began, and the journey is still continuing. Because to be honest with you, I am honestly like a toddler in my field. Okay. I'm not 35 years in the game.
How many years you got in here?
I got 6 years under my belt.
6 years?
6 good
And you
ones.
this tight?
I am 6 years old, and I ain't nearly as tight as I'm envisioning to be.
Hold on, really quick. Let me interject here real quick, because I work at a courthouse, right? Anytime I mention Venese Morgan, it's like she gets the praises from the Most High. You would have thought it was like Venese Morgan. I go in, my introduction be, hey, I'm Tony Hudson, and I just graduated law school, and I used to work for Venese Morgan. I say that as my introductory. Because that alone, I get the smiles, I get the, I'm in there now. I'm good because I say her name.
You're on the team.
When she say 6 years is not enough, or it hasn't been, she's done a lot in these 6 years to where everyone in Baton Rouge, other these surrounding cities, know her name, okay? And this is what I want to be like. So, I'm just so happy that you're able to sit here with me and talk about this, because this is so tight to me. So, yes, you pass the bar. You start, your law. How was that first year for you? Once you got your license, what's the first thing you did? Tell me about it. What was your mindset? What was going on?
My first thing I did was cry.
I bet.
I cried for like a good 30 minutes. Like on my hands and knees and boo fucking who, like for real.
I bet.
Like a baby that hasn't eaten all day. Like for real. Like praised God,
No, really.
And just because you understand, like it was like my ultimate dream at that moment when I had learned that I passed the bar exam, and then the place that I learned that I passed, I was in court. Okay.
When you found out you was in court?
When I found out I passed the bar exam, I was in court, okay? And the judge that I was working, that had the same seat as your judge.
Small world.
Okay.
Literally. I might be doing deja vu. That might happen again. Okay.
She was like, Ms. Morgan, did you check to see if everyone, my law clerk just took the bar exam. We're about to see if she passed or not.
No, now she put you on the spot.
And so I had about 35 missed phone calls.
Ooh.
And like 57 text messages. So I'm just like, I probably passed. Mind you, the results had came out like 2 hours ago.
But you was
we
in
just
court.
were in
You can't
court.
have phones in court,
right?
so it's
And this is like my 5th day on the job.
What?
This is my 5th day on the job. So I'm brand new.
Impressive.
I'm figuring it out.
Impressive.
Right? And she had been asking me the whole time, like for the whole week, you think you passed? You think you passed? And I'm like, I know I passed.
That's like the worst question.
I know I passed.
I know that's probably like the worst question to get. Do you think you passed? Because obviously I think I passed. I did all this work. Okay?
I mean, but that's the bar exam. You could think you passed all you
Literally,
want until you get the results. You
might say anything on that.
For real. I mean, the test is graded subjectively. By other attorneys who are doing just what we're doing, got a drink in their hand and got their feet kicked up. Great. And want to be entertained. So if you ain't writing for their entertainment,
So you got the news in court.
Got the news in court. I passed. Yay! And some of the most popular and biggest attorneys, most baddest attorneys in the St. John surrounding area were there.
Nice.
It was an amazing feeling. It was an amazing feeling.
I bet.
So I'm thankful, for that. And I realized that being an attorney is very powerful. Louisiana civil procedure is
a beast.
Is very powerful. If you know civil procedure, that's like having bullets in your gun.
I can agree with you, because I'm starting to understand that. Before, going through law school, you learn the bookwork, you learn the basics, but actually being in the field and actually practicing, seeing it every day. Now, I have the job that you originally had. I'm starting to really see what you mean by the procedural work. I didn't know that before. I didn't understand. You hear it in class and they say, 7 days before you can file this, after that, da, 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 da. But actually working under a judge and actually having to do the calculations right then and there and have the answers and have those judgments, like, it's the most, like you said, best experience you're going to get as a student entering into the practice.
Right.
And that's definitely what I'm getting my hands on now. I'm making those baby steps,
Yeah.
So I understand that for sure.
The better you know that procedural shit, the badder the bitch you gonna be.
And probably I'll pass the test if I know some procedural stuff. That's
Pass the test. That ain't even a question. You gonna pass that test.
I'm gonna pass that test. So since you had got into the field and now and you were getting your feet wet and everything, what made you decide on the type of practice that you wanted to do? Because first of all, tell us what type of practice you do. Let's start there.
Okay, so at the moment,
tell the people.
I practice family, heavy, criminal, heavy, successions, and accident cases. Okay, personal injuries. What I will be exclusively practicing in the very near future is accident cases, personal injury.
The PI cases.
Them PI cases, yeah. I'm getting them PI checks. Right now, I'm dealing and dabbling with family and criminal to keep the lights on while I wait for the crash injury checks to come in the mail. And you've seen some of those checks. You understand why.
I've seen the checks. We're going to get into these topics because I want the people to understand that when people ask me, hey, what do you want to do when you become a lawyer? What do you want to do? I say instantly, a solo practitioner. Can you tell us the benefits of being a solo, because you are. It's like, can you tell us the benefits of being a solo practitioner versus working under a big corporation?
Absolutely.
Break it down.
A big corporation, starting out the gate, you have absolutely no control over anything you do. You legitimately have to ask permission to use the bathroom. Not literally, but
basically.
Basically,
right.
You need permission to do everything that you want to do, regardless if it's right or wrong, or whether if you know that it's right or wrong. The beauty of being in a solo practice is that I don't have to ask permission for anything, but I understand that I am ignorant in this field until I am no longer ignorant. And that only comes with practice and time. So, of course, I utilize my mentors heavily, okay? Corporate America, you have mentors, but they're also employees, and they're also held accountable for what they have to do and need to do so that they can keep their jobs. And of course, it's always in the back of their minds that you're going to replace them one day, so they might not be so as amenable to help you, especially if you're a little black girl, dark skin, ish.
No, that's true.
So that's reality. And I would have been stupid to ignore that and just continue along, either playing some game and being some person that I know that I'm not, in order to fit in or in order to keep this so-called job, that I absolutely have no control of whether I keep. I have no control whether if I stay or go. Louisiana is a right to work, state. So, or will to work, whatever you call that. In other words, as long as it's not for your race, creed, retaliation, sexual orientation, age, whatever, as long as there ain't nothing dealing with no EEOC, they can fire you for any reason. And a lot of law firms do fire their associate attorneys after 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. They wait for them to burn completely out, and then they get fired because they're no longer useful anymore. They're not working as fast. They're not billing as many hours anymore because they're working day and night. And at some point, your brain needs a break, and you don't get one when you're working for somebody. Private practice, I can decide when I want to take a break. as long as I'm willing to deal with the consequences of me taking that break. And if I can control the consequences of me taking that break, you know, then then it's even all the better. I could plan for this break so that the consequences are not as bad.
So basically, being in a big corporation gives me, like you said, it's like you're clawing your way at something that you may not be able to even obtain. Like, you know, sometimes we would say a partner or something of the sort. So, like, you're clawing your way trying to be a partner in these big old firms. And this is how I looked at it. Before I even met you, I did know I wanted to work for myself. I just didn't know what that looked like until I met you. So it's like, I understand the fact that, you know, working for a big corporation may have their cons, may have their pros and things of that nature. But working for yourself comes with even more pros for me. With me being on the outside, actually looking at someone do it. And you know what I'm saying? Our office was a few, you know, solo practitioners. So, you know, I'm able to see what that looks like. And I feel like that's something that I want to do and I want to, you know, work towards. Let's talk about the money side of things. So I know it wasn't just big bank straight out the jump. Let's talk about how you got to where you're at today. How'd you get from, I was broke in D.C. to flying to Miami to get my nails done? How we got there?
And my hair.
How we get there?
Well, before that, let me tell you what my money was looking like when I graduated law school. Okay, I worked part-time for Councilwoman Shauna Banks. Okay, I was her former campaign manager.
Okay,
and she offered me a job right after I graduated and said, you know, I need your help, you know, carry the office forward, you know, for the end of the year. I said, okay. And so I worked for her part-time from 9 a.m. to, it was 5 hours, 9, 10, 11, 12, 2 p.m., okay? And so I collected that check. Mind you, this was the period of my law school matriculation where I had held myself back. So I walked the stage, but I was still there that extra semester for bar prep because I wanted to still use the library. I wanted to still use the amenities that Southern had. Right, exactly. So I did that for May, worked for her from May to November. May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So 6 months, okay? And then at November, I quit. Mind you, she was paying me $11 an hour. Okay, that looked like maybe like $300 a week or whatever. But that's really, my friend Kendall, who also he was I think maybe 3 or 4 years in the game. He had his own private practice, and so he agreed to hire me for $10 an hour. Right, so I worked for him for $10 an hour. Okay, and at that time, what Councilwoman Banks and Kendall was paying me, that was honestly the most I had ever made at that time. And I am 28 years old, and that was the most money I have ever made for myself. You know, so I'm working for Kendall, and then I wound up working for Judge Jasmine like 2 months later. Passed the bar exam. When I got the job with Judge Jasmine, I was getting paid like $20 an hour. And you couldn't tell me shit at that point. Like, I was big balling. $20 an hour? I could pay my own bills. What? I could pay my own rent without living with a man.
A man, yeah. That's a good feeling.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like my first real lawyer job, you know, like every check was like $1,200, and that was like the most money I had ever made at that point. You know, I can pay my rent. I could pay my gas. I don't have to ask nobody for nothing. Like, I can take my insurance from my mama. I can, you know what I mean? Like, I can do all that. Like,
woman for real,
like straight independent, right? And then around September of 2017, about 4 months after I became an attorney, I filed for my own LLC. And I was really forced into a situation where I had to hurry up and do it because I had my first accident client. That was just like, all right, I got hit in the back.
Help me.
They had already been sending themselves to treatment. She was a that client this wasn't her first rodeo. It was mine. The client taught me how to practice
and how to get your money.
for real. You know what I mean? So I got my own LLC, and then right when the adjuster was like, okay, I can offer you this amount to settle the case, I said, hold on just 1 second. And I called a mentor. I said, mentor, the adjuster just offered me some money. What do I do?
Literally your first case.
Oh my God. He said, it's
going to be me.
He said, so I had to get the LLC, hurry up and get all that stuff done. Get my articles and all of that. Then take that to the bank. Get the IOTA. Try to go to Liberty, the black bank.
It wasn't messing with
They gave me a credit check. I'm like, what? Why would you do that? I'm $150,000 in student debt. Why would you? I'm trying to give y'all money. Like, why would you give me a credit check? I'm sorry, ma'am, your credit's not good enough. Oh my God. So I took it to Red River Bank. Took me right on the spot.
I heard about Red River. They cool.
They
cool people.
They cool. You know, so boom, got it. Settled my first accident case for $15,000.
15, guys.
I had
first case. 15.
I had
off
never,
the flat.
I mean, that's a minimum policy.
No, it's a minimum policy. But let's talk about how it went from $20 an hour to 15 bands off the flat.
Well, I mean, the 15 bands weren't.
I know, but you can still hold the title because you still got to put a portion of that, and that's still major. 15 bands ain't bad for the first case.
I mean, to see a check with my name on it, even though it has somebody else's name on it, but with my name on it,
means everything.
With two numbers in front of a comma,
means everything.
I had never seen that in my entire life. I think I even took a picture of it. And I sent it to my mom, and my mom circulated it around the whole family. And I wish I would have never done that.
That was the start of something. Right. Yeah.
I wish I would have
got that money, y'all. Venice got that money.
For real. Man, I had roaches coming out the woodwork asking me for money. Like waking me up from my sleep. Venese, let me get $5. No,
that's what happens. But my thing is, I want people to understand that, you know, being a lawyer is everything. Because, you know, you do get to help families. You do get to, you know, help people. You know, that's really the ultimate reason why I want to become a lawyer. I want to help people, right? But it is also a lucrative business. And I know a lot of lawyers that stream my channel and stuff like that is going to see this story. And they're going to be like, this is going to be motivating to them because it's real, y'all. She's a real prime example of a solo practitioner really coming from the mud and really getting her bag. You a boss.
Thank you.
You's a boss.
I really
give you that. You's a boss. Like,
wow.
You are a boss.
I don't know when that happened. I don't know when that happened because it was only yesterday that I'm looking at this check like, wow, $15,000. But the latest injury check that I just settled had $200,000 on it.
Is that? Can I ask? What's the biggest check you received?
That is the biggest check. That is the big. At this point, that is the biggest check.
And what was on there? Just for I didn't hear it.
$200,000.
$200,000
that I settled the case for. It was a $250,000 policy, and I settled it for $200,000.
Damn. If that's not motivating to anybody who's watching this, it's motivating for me. So that's all that matters. But y'all, here it is, $200 for a settlement.
Yeah.
It didn't even go to court.
Of course, all of that $200 is not mine. Right. You know, 33 and a third of it is. Right,
33 and a third. Do the math. That's still a comma. You know, so I just feel like that's just amazing to just see because I think I was there. Were you working on this case while I was around?
Oh yeah. Oh man, that case made me cry. That case was the vein of my existence.
Like, I don't want y'all to think it's easy. It's not an easy task. It's work to get there. But it's doable. That's the whole point of this. It's doable. You got somebody from California. Like I said, I'm from California too. We came all the way to find better for ourselves. And that's really what I want the viewers to understand, that we knew that we were capable of doing more with our own lives, and we went after that. And here you have a prime example of somebody who accomplished that. Though she's 6 years in and selling $200,000 cases, imagine what 10 years is going to look like.
Oh, that's $1 million. Oh, I know I'm on the millionaire track.
I feel like you got $1 million the year's not over yet, and I done seen some of the checks that came through this year. So it's like, I want to say you're there. You're there.
I'm definitely on the track to having 2 commas in my account. In my mind, I'm already a millionaire.
You are.
Like, I've been a millionaire in my mind. Understanding the relationship between money and time.
Because it's important and it's big.
It is. Like, you have to nurture and grow. And in turn, you have to nurture and grow other things that you can use, other things and other people that you can use to make that business that you're nurturing and growing bigger and better, so that it could accept more and so that you can make more. And the more you accept, the more you make, but you gotta have the hands on deck.
Something.
Right? Exactly.
Denise dropping gems, y'all. I don't know if y'all listening, but she's dropping the gems for us tonight.
I'm no expert. I'm just speaking from what has worked for me in the past.
So as we're about to close it out, we've been all in your life, but what can we tell somebody who hasn't been to college, who may see a future for themselves but don't know how to attain them? What advice could we give somebody who has no clue of what they could possibly do with themselves? Like, what do we tell them to do? Where do we tell them to go? Where do we tell them to do? What is our advice for them?
You have to break the habit of being yourself. And what I mean by that is that understand that your mind controls your feelings, and your feelings reciprocate your mind. Okay?
That's deep.
So the way you think is how you feel, and how you feel is how you think. Okay? So if you don't like the way you feel, then the only way to change how you feel is how you think. Okay? And that's how you manifest your reality. I got involved. I found reasons and excuses to wear executive attire. Because in my mind, I was an executive person.
Period.
Right?
Y'all hear this?
And so I manifested this. I manifested this because that's the way I thought, and so that's the way I felt. And when I think how I feel, I behave the way I think and feel. And when I behave the way I think and feel, I start to do things that manifest that reality, that bring me closer to what I'm seeing in my mind.
Literally. Okay. I like that. I really, really like that.
So if you don't know what you want to do in life, you need to take a good hard look at who you are, what makes you happy. And if you're not happy, you need to find a way to get happy. You need to start changing your mind. Tell yourself that you are happy. Because when you tell yourself that you're happy, then you begin to feel happy. When you begin to feel happy, you begin to do things that make you happy. And when you're doing things that make you happy, then that will bring you closer to your purpose.
As I bring it to a close, I just want to thank you for allowing us to take a time and to just get in your mind and to just tell us your story and how you got to sit at this table and how you got to be who you are today and the journey that it took to get you here. I feel like it's important. We see the name Venese Morgan, but sometimes we don't really see how Venese Morgan got to be Venese Morgan. So I feel like this episode is going to be able to, lay that out for folks. They might see you and just be like, oh, she's just a boss. But it took time and work and stuff to get here. And it wasn't just, I woke up and I was here.
No.
And that's what a lot of people fail to realize. So I feel like I wanted to bring you on here. One, because you're my mentor. And I just wanted them to see where I get my passion and where I know I can go. These are the people I'm bringing on. I want y'all to see that, like, it's possible. That's the whole point of this. Like, your story is possible for folks. So.
And don't be afraid to fail.
Don't be afraid to fail, because
don't be afraid to fail.
When one door closes, another one will open. But like you said, it comes through those manifests in the way you think and in the way you feel. So, and
you have to fail in order to learn what you need to do for the next time.
Thank you guys for tuning into this episode. We have Venese Morgan here, the attorney, one of the greatest in Baton Rouge. Look her up. If you need a case done, you already know. Venese Morgan is who you should go to.
I got you.
Like I said, we're going to be here same time next week. I appreciate you guys for taking the time out to watch the podcast. And like I said, we're growing this thing to something bigger and better. So just keep tuning in, like, comment, and subscribe. Comment some things you want to see. You know, it's all love here. So, you know, I'm going to see y'all next time, though. Peace.